Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Mad Bald Man's Garage. So, not actually mad today. Feeling pretty good about things because I just recently hit level 30 as an engineer, which means I hit the 80 part cap. So I had never built, prior to what you're looking at now, had never built an 80-piece build, so I kind of call it a celebration build. Um, and I wanted to share it with you because this thing is kick-ass. It's kick-ass. And I wanted to make sure that I passed on all the great information. It seems like when I do this, I get text messages. I have Star Trek sounds for text messages. Um, because I definitely started with machine guns, and I find that it's really one of the funnest weapons because it's constant. It makes that noise. It gives you instant feedback. Um, you don't get a lot of bullet drop. And if you put a couple coolers on there, depending on the weapon, you can fire them for a while before they overheat. So they're fun. They're fun weapons to use, and if you use them correctly and the right ones, they're actually quite powerful. So I wanted to kind of pass on something that I've been pretty sure about, but never really tested because I never had them. The Aspect machine guns, they're legendary, yeah, I know. But they can be, supplanted with uh, other weapon tiers. But I built my celebration build out of triple aspects. Um, and this is definitely something that you want to get into because this is good stuff. Um, it's a heavier build, although not as heavy as a lot that I built. I've had some up in the 2000s. Um, it is the heaviest as far as mass, I believe. I don't think I've made one that's quite that big. That still moves at 96 miles an hour. What? Got really close to my tonnage weight. Go a little bit more, but I'm out of pieces. I'm happy with the 80. Decent acceleration. Um, this is built off of a build that I pulled off the exhibition. I think it was called Grom. And I think it had Spectres up here. I think it had one aspect and a couple Spectres. Um, my initial build of this thing was with two aspects and a spark, which it had some juice, but the damage output just wasn't enough for the power score. So I shifted over to triple aspects, and oh wow, this is the place to be. Like I said, this is based off the Grom build, I think. If you go into um, the exhibition, I can't remember if it's uppercase. Let's figure this out together. It's probably a lot of them. Yeah, because this happens. Somebody gets something and copies it, changes just a couple things. You can see. So this, I think these two look most like the one that I grabbed. I think it's this one because you can see the slopes got rid of the duck. Um, yeah, and there's looks like two aspects and a Spectre. So my build was based off of this one. You can see their scoop is a little bit wider. I didn't have the wings that they had. There's some kind of bigger paneling down there that I removed. I took these bumpers off and used the line of defense that came from the Four Horsemen pack. Um, when we look at mine, you can see I slid the back end back a little bit, made some deck changes to accommodate a little bit more room, and some back protection for the high gun. But this is the build that I based it off of. I'm pretty sure one of those is my likes. So you can see not a lot of difference, right? There's the line of defense. I added some decor, slid this back. Made a little bit more room because originally, right, I had a spark in there, which is not a 4x4, I think it's an 8x8 or 6x6. And then I kind of have an oblique avia panel back there for some back protection, which is nice. Added some, I think there were buggy rears. I added the whale backs, which have a little bit more um, defense durability. and then kind of narrowed the scoop a little bit. But by and large, it's pretty much the same platform, like I say, with some modifications. So check that out. We're going to talk about those triple aspects. This is a heavier build. It's in the 11K range. Do you have to use aspects? No, you don't. You could put 3 Spectres up there and you'd still be kicking ass taking names. It's got 2 coolers on it and a Chameleon Mark II, so I can kind of creep up on people. Good stuff. So let's drive it around the post-apocalyptic playground. Now, these are aspects. So there's a way to play with these that you've got to get used to. And that is, I kind of call it riding the line, right? So watch, I've got a couple coolers on here, so it's going to take a while for these things to get up to heat, but you'll see a little percentage number, and as the guns heat up, they're doing more damage. That's the glory of the aspects. When they're reaching full heat, they're doing 50% more damage, so, you know, it's like basically instead of having 3 of these, I've got 4.5 of them, which is pretty cool, but to get that, you got to ride the line. And watch the heat and the percentage. You see what I'm talking about, right? See, it's creeping up. There it is. Now, the way you shoot these things, see, I ride it up to the line, then you stop. You let it come down, ride it up, stop, because you don't want them to overheat, right? You're going to ride that line, so you're really riding between 35 and 45%. And they're doing their max damage at that point. So that's really the only trick you have to do. You kind of have to get a feel for how long you can let them burn before you got to back out for a second. Now, I want to show you this scoop. Oh, I missed it. Right, with the scoop, you can just scoop stuff up, push it around here. I'll get something that's a little bit bigger and not so light that it just rolls off. See, you can just pick it up and run with it. Love it. And once you kind of get somebody up like that, they're fixed, right? You've already chewed them up, you're running around, you're shooting them under the frame, you're doing all sorts of bad things, you know, inappropriate things. So that's kind of what's cool about that scoop. And of course, you know, you can use it for fun stuff too. See with those coolers, right? You can just let those things roll for a while. They're getting up there. They fire forever and they do a ton of damage. Look at that. Lost some of my teeth, which is actually kind of true to life because I just had a wonderful experience where I gave up 2 of my teeth. Get to have implants at some point. Good times. But at any rate, right? Kind of that ability to scoop up, run around with stuff, and riding the line, throw pieces around. But kind of riding that heat line with the aspects is really how you kind of get business done here. Pretty well balanced rig. And it's nimble enough for its weight, right? It'll actually get up to 96 if you've got that kind of patience. But really, you know, most of the time you're riding between 70 and 80 if you're trying to haul ass somewhere. Now, you just saw it there, right? With the scoop, if you hit a kind of a funky rock, I don't know, ridge or rocks or the ground, you can get caught up. So it kind of comes with the territory. So a couple of the maps where you've got really, really uneven ground, you got to kind of watch where you drive. But by and large, you don't notice any negative side effects from having that scoop down. Like I say, these things will just fire all day, and they do a lot of damage. So you can get people from a pretty good distance away, and just lay on them. So I'm going to record some footage for you guys so you can kind of see how this thing does. But my average, right, because I've been running around doing some test builds, my kill average was really going down, right? So I was actually down to like, oh man, I don't know, it was terrible. It was like 1.53 or something. But when I'm on this thing, man, it just skyrocketed back up. You can see I'm not a a mega player. I haven't been playing this forever. Still trying to get the 5 figures here. But the kills that I'm getting is significant. Now it's also interesting because now that I'm in the 11K range, you know, I'm running, you know, when I run this, there's people in 10, 11, 12, 13,000 power scores. So to be getting kind of a minimum of 2 to 3 kill assist, up to 4 or 5, these things are definitely putting it out. So I'll get in the game, I'll record some stuff, so you guys can kind of see how they perform. But these things are awesome. They do a lot of damage. They are very precise. They are great for shooting off people's more powerful weapons, even the ones they have buried in, because you just peel away the parts with these things. So definitely I would go you know, into the exhibition and find a lot of, because there are a lot of different triple aspect builds. You're not going to find as many on wheels. Right now, I guess it's uber popular to use the spider platform, and kind of mount them on top, which I thought was odd, but then they're building this deck over the top of them. So here, actually, I think I saved off one of these things. It's insane. Yeah, that's the one. Look at that. That is ridiculous. I mean, just straight up ridiculous, man. A 12,000 power score, 18,500 damn near kilograms, almost 2,700 in durability. This is nuts, though. Look at this thing. It's got its own zip code, and then they've got the aspects kind of buried underneath this deck. So pretty cool. I don't have all of these parts. A lot of these parts, you can see the scorched rear end there. Those bull bumpers are kind of I want to say they're a high level scavenger, higher level. I've already got one of them, but I think the next one comes in at like 10 or 11 or 12. You got the second kind of mount cage there, so you need to dig in the lunatic because there's a lot of those parts on there. You can see the buggy backs, whale backs, and then you've got those, you know, those downstreams that are fire starter parts. So there's this definitely requires you to dig in. You can see there those are cooling systems, which are, to get that many, you'll need to get up to level 7 of Don's children. So there's a lot of pieces that go into this, but holy crap! Got an Aegis, which is, you can see it's so big it doesn't cover everything. So you won't be trying to use that to block stuff from behind. So that's kind of I'm not a fan of the paint, but it does help hide stuff. You really can't tell what's going on because your eyeballs are getting seared by that. But you know, really cool, man. And this thing, it's triple aspects every bit of the way. So, and actually for its size, it's not, I mean, it's slow, but man, to be honest, it really, you know, it's nimble, right? So now the only thing here is that if you see how we're kind of on an upslope, you don't have a lot of down angle on these guns because of how much you've got sticking out in front of you. So you can see now I've got if I wanted to kind of shoot right low or something close to me, those guns are not effective. You come up a little bit, and now you're back in the, now see, I don't think there's a cooler on this. Yeah, there is. So you can see how fast that damage creeps up. Good and bad, right? You know, you don't always want to wait a long time for your damage to crank up to full, but at the same time, it's pretty damn easy to have them overheat on you without a cooler. So I want to say there's probably, what do we got in here? You know, there's the Apollo. No, it doesn't look like it's cooler. So they make, those triple aspects make pretty quick work of damn near anything that they're banging on as well. They're Awesome. Yeah, see, I'm used to having coolers on mine, so it's definitely something to kind of find your style if you like the damage to be cranked up. If you're a really good line rider, um, then having no coolers on your aspects is the way to go for you. I'm going to have to work my way there because I started out with coolers, so definitely have to get used to this. But the damage gets jacked up a lot faster. So you really need to go find some builds and just run around with these things because it's a lot of fun. And man, this is the only thing I love. The spider platform, very stable, and you can just pile on the durability. But you're gonna have to be okay with not being the first person to wherever you're going to. You're gonna join battles a lot of times, you know, a quarter of the way through it because you kind of had to hike your way there. But when you get there, there's not gonna be too many people who are gonna be able to do very much to you. You're definitely at this with this kind of durability, this kind of power damage output. You're a force to be reckoned with. So this is, I think, I think I'm gonna go for this. I think I'm gonna try to rebuild a spider build because I had the Bug Daddy with the dual tsunamis and I dug it. Just didn't have something fast, so I figure maybe if I build up a spider build, um, but I also have my fast Bigfoot triple aspect build, then I think maybe that'll make me happy because I got to be able to move fast and shoot up a bunch of shit. So, all right. So definitely check out the stuff in the exhibition because there's a lot of cool stuff there. And get yourself to level 30 so you can build some machines. But also, again, this doesn't have to be an 11K build, right? These can very easily become fidgets, imps, um, specters, right? Hell, you can even, you know, dump things like thunderbolts, shotguns, hammerfalls. You know, you can really put anything on this. It's a good, solid platform that moves. So consider it. Play with the aspects, and I'll get you some good video. All right. Doesn't look like there's a lot of clans involved in this one. Sandstorm, right on. Not a bad team. Oh, wow. Anybody gonna join us here? What are we doing? Retchers. I hope that's one of ours. I don't think it is, though. Maybe. That's a mess. There we go. You got pretty precise control. I'll do what I can, buddy. Alright. I guess if they're going to keep running up to me, I'm going to run up to them. Alright, let's be careful, though, because they could get a little side action on us. They've got a camping group up there, so have to watch for the bull rush. Yeah, they're slowly getting us, so we need to lay it down. Alright, so he just made the run. Hopefully they got him. Right on. What do we got? Yeah, we got his attention. He found us. I'm gonna take too kindly. He's gonna shoot back eventually. There we go. He's a big gun guy. Let's go see what we can do here. Can't hide, buddy. Yeah, I know. I know.
No more running for that one. Ah, this one's doing the warm. Look at this.
Now some support for our man. Yeah, kick up that Aegis. Spider builds with the Aegis, man. Seems to be the way things are going these days.
That car won't budge. Coming out. Say hello to my little friend.
I don't know why he's focusing on us. He's got a lot of problems with those Aegis and shotguns, so let's see if we can sneak around the side and give him a little present. It's all in love. Yeah, oh no. Ouch. Oh, there go the guns. So, ouch. Yeah, I know. I know. Just sit there. Here we go. So, pretty solid build, right? And we'll take a look here at the end, but we were, we weren't fighting, weak builds in this. So, let's see how we did. Right. Hey, very well done. So there's a 4 and a 3, so that's a 7. I don't see how it gets much better than that. But we're working with 13,000, 10,000, 9,000, almost 11. 11. You got to do better than that, man. But again, fighting almost 10, almost 13, 10, almost 12. Right. I mean, we weren't fighting against slouches, right? So this is just a ridiculously productive build that you need to think about migrating to if you enjoy shotguns. Now, this can be on any platform, right? So we looked at the Spider machine gun. So really, it's kind of which pleasure. Like I say, I kind of want both. I want the fast-moving wheels, and I want the maneuverability of the Spider and the steadiness of the Spider build. So, let me see if I can get something else, but man, this is just fantastic work. Let's see if I can get another one.